right.
What's up? Welcome back to the close screening after about August, September, October, November, December, just 6-month hiatus
Phew.
with our new co-host.
Hello. I'm replacing Nicholas. I'm sure he
Nicholas is busy teaching. He doesn't have time for a silly podcast anymore.
might.
But some of you may know Chase from I guess we just did your 3 favorite animated movies or your 3 favorite movies.
I think it was 2 favorite animated movies. It was Mononoke and Into the Spider-Verse.
I guess, yeah, I think we cut it down.
Yeah.
But yes, for our first episode back, I guess we'll be calling this season 2.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
We're going to be doing what we did last year around this time, which was our most anticipated films of the year. If you watch last year's episode, we did about 15. I think we got a little more this year.
Yeah, I have
and
17.
If you're wondering, I was able to see most every film on the list, except for Uncharted because it still hasn't come out almost a year later. I didn't watch Old because I heard it was horrific.
Oh, the Shyamalan movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't check that out.
I wanted to see Last Night in Soho because of Edgar Wright, but I never got around to it. Never got around to No Time to Die. And then The King's Man just came out like over Christmas, and I preferenced other films. But yeah, that's about it. Most of the films that I was looking forward to were actually not good.
Isn't that how it goes?
Actually, I guess they were pretty decent.
If I want to spoil my list, there's some movies on my list that are probably more irony bad movies that I just want to see for the hell of it. So I'm sure this time next year there'll be some movies that we're saying not good, but I'm looking forward to terrible movies.
And if you're watching the podcast, thanks for watching.
Oh yeah, thank you.
It's our first video podcast.
I'm sure there'll be some kinks.
We'll be up on what, YouTube?
YouTube, I guess, and all the same audio platforms. I only listen on Spotify, so I don't know what all we're on. What Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts?
Apple Podcast, Google, Anchor. When you get on Anchor, it literally just posts it to every single podcast site. I don't think we're on Stitcher, so.
Who uses Stitcher anyway?
At least somebody. We're missing a little audience, I bet.
I'm sure. That'll be fine. We don't need them.
All right. Well, I've got 20 plus an asterisk on one.
All right. Like I said, I have 17.
And
so
mine are basically in order, and then because I went on the IMDb release schedule, and then I was like, I put down like 12, and I was like, there's actually a lot more movies here that I know are coming out that aren't on this list. But I'll go ahead and start with my first one, which comes out on Friday. We're recording this on
Sunday,
January 9th. On Friday, January 14th, we have, I guess it's technically just called Scream.
Oh, I saw it. I actually just saw a trailer for it.
It's the 5th one. I'm not thinking that's going to be too good. Yeah, there's 4 original Screams plus that MTV show that was horrible.
There's an MTV show?
Yeah, it ran for like 3 seasons.
Bro, I only watched MTV for ridiculousness. That was the only thing MTV was good for. Was hours of ridiculousness. So
yeah, it took 5 years to make 3 seasons, but yes. It was horrible. I watched the first season back when I was like, I guess I was in like junior year of high school.
Wow.
But yes, 5th Scream movie. They're bringing back
Matthew Lillard,
David Aykroyd, Courtney Cox, and Neve Campbell.
Oh, the guy from Catfish? Or is that the guy from Catfish?
No,
that's Neve something.
The main girl, Sydney.
Okay. Got it.
I guess I don't know. It looks kind of stupid, but I love a good slasher film. And I love this first Scream movie is one of my favorite horror movies.
I still haven't. I think I've seen it once, so I need to go back to it because I'm not caught up on my Scream lore.
I wrote my final paper in my horror cinema class on Scream.
Nice. If you want, I can go ahead We can just go
Yeah,
back and forth.
we'll
All right.
alternate. Yeah.
My first movie comes out February 1st. It is Jackass Forever. I think I've seen every Jackass film, that was like pivotal films in my childhood. I know at a certain friend's house, we'd watch it in his basement. I think we watched Jackass 3 like 4 times in their basement. So I'm really excited to see them just put themselves through horrible shit for, an hour and a half. It should be a blast.
I haven't seen any Jackass. I think I've seen the TV show. I saw the
Really?
episode where they put the like Hot Wheels in the condoms and then put up their butthole. And I said that's enough for me forever.
Yeah, Jackass 3 is pretty bad. There's some stuff that I probably still will make me queasy. I don't know if you've seen the scene where Steve-O gets in a loaded porta potty and they slingshot him up in the air and he gets covered in poop.
No, I don't think I'm missing too much.
Probably not. I think it's just gonna be fun because they're old men now, and I think it's gonna be fun to watch them put themselves through that.
But Nicholas would be right there with you.
Yeah.
He loves those movies, and he was distraught when it got postponed again.
Yeah, there is some controversy. I heard about Bam Margera having to be put through rehab for the movie, but
like he didn't get invited back or something crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and lump all like the superhero movies together.
Okay.
Right now, because I had Morbius, just because I'm so curious as to how horrific this movie is gonna be, and it was supposed to come out this month, but it got postponed to April 1st.
Wasn't it because Spider-Man was still just rolling at the box office?
They said it was like Omicron surges, but
I
think it's just because the movie's still probably horrible.
Probably.
But then we got The Batman coming out next month.
That's on my list.
I have Doctor Strange, Thor, and then The Flash, because apparently they're wiping out like Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. Like their portrayals are going to be gone. So it'll be interesting to see the fan backlash to that, probably. The Snyderverse fans. And then I have the Spider-Verse. And
yeah, I have that one as well. I'm super hyped for part 1.
Yeah, but I mean, there's tons of podcasts out there about superheroes in general, so I don't think we need to spend too much time on.
No. I'm interested.
Hopefully they're good.
Yeah.
But I would say Morbius is going to be horrible. The Batman, I still think could go either way.
I think Robert Pattinson could do a good job. I'm excited to see Zoe Kravitz. She's Catwoman, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That'll be nice.
We got Doctor Strange, which hopefully will be good visually, at least.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest thing to get excited for. I'm sure they're going to do a really good job with the visuals.
We got Taika Waititi's Thor, Love and Thunder, which I've had this conversation with Nicholas on the podcast about. Taika Waititi is one of my favorite directors, and I love that he's making movies, but is there a downside that he's continually going back to Thor when he could be making other films? But we've talked that horse to death, but it's an interesting point to bring up. Spider-Verse, obviously, we already talked about Spider-Verse. Go back and listen to the other episode if you want to hear more. Sequel should probably be on par with the first.
I think it'll be really
Flash,
good.
already talked about that. That's about it. There's other superhero movies that are coming out that I don't really care about.
Yeah, I think I only have the Batman, Doctor Strange, and the Spider-Verse. That's it. I didn't even put Thor or the Flash.
Yeah, I think like Black Panther 2's probably coming out. Maybe
didn't the sister get kicked off because of like?
Apparently, I don't know what the newest
issues.
stuff is, but she's like not getting vaccinated. Then production has to shut down all the time because of it.
That's whack.
And there's rumors that she's being kicked off. So what's your next one?
Uncharted, starring Tom Holland.
That's my next one.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna pick this. I know how much you love these games.
It was on my list last year for those who watched it.
I've played. I know you've lent me some of these games. I think I played 1 and 2. I don't think I ever played 3. I really did enjoy them. I know it'll be interesting. I'm kind of. It seems kind of weird to have Tom Holland play Nathan Drake, but.
Really Good Game's gonna be a horrific movie.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that.
I think it went through like maybe a dozen directors before they finally settled on Ruben Fleischer, whose works include he directed Zombieland and Venom. So who knows? It could be serviceable for those who would just want an action movie, but I think it's gonna be horrible. But I'll watch it,
I'm sure I'll watch it as well.
and I'm pretty sure Tom Holland's gone on record saying that it's gonna be horrible.
That's always good when your star is already
Yeah.
shit talking the film. That's good to know.
So now that we've got most of like the popcorny films out of the way, I've got the next one is The Northman,
That's my next one.
which looks sort of batshit crazy.
Yeah, I was really intrigued when I saw it on IMDb.
Have you seen The Witch or The Lighthouse?
I think we watched The Witch together. I thought it was really good.
Well, Robert Eggers is pretty crazy, so this will probably have some horror elements, and I'm always a big horror fan, and I mean, I'll support him just because his last two movies were really good. But yeah, it's about a Northman Viking prince seeks justice for his murdered father. It's got a crazy cast.
So
Alexander Skarsgård,
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Taylor Joy, Nicole Kidman, Willem Dafoe, Ethan Hawke. I'm not even gonna say his name, but the Mountain from Game of Thrones, and then a bunch of Scandinavian people. But yeah, should be good. Trailer looks absolutely batshit crazy, so it should be a good time. Hopefully,
It'll be interesting. I do have one more popcorny film. Top Gun Maverick. Probably gonna be terrible. I'm just my dad was a major Top Gun fan, so I've watched it a good few times with him. So it seems only like fair that I watch this movie. But I'm sure
that was on Abigail's list last year, and Abigail's my girlfriend. If you're someone that doesn't know us personally, and she was very upset when it got postponed for like the third time. I'm not a big Top Gun 1 fan, so I'll probably go see it with her just because she never wants to go to the movies, and I'll go to the movies with anybody that wants to. So yeah, I don't have much to say about it because I'm already not a fan of the first one, and I think this one's going to be even worse.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to it other than it's going to be weird. I've literally no idea what it's going to be about. I probably should have researched it, but that's for professionals, and this is amateur podcast hour. So it'll be interesting. I'm sure it's going to be real campy and garbage, but sometimes camp is good, but this is not going to be good camp. Anyway, what's your next movie?
My next movie is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh, the trailer for that looks so good.
It follows a cash-strapped Nicolas Cage agrees to make a paid appearance at a billionaire superfan's birthday party, but is really an informant for the CIA since the billionaire fan is a drug kingpin.
Yeah, this trailer looked bananas.
It's very meta. I'm not that big of a Nicolas Cage fan, but it looks absolutely wild.
Nick Cage definitely makes choices with his movies. I don't know what kind of choices, but he makes a lot of choices.
I'm off record here. I don't want to slander him, but I'm pretty sure it's like he has to pick any movie that's offered to him because he was in so much debt.
I think that's right. I think he was just blowing through that national
the national treasure money.
Yeah, the national treasure money, and now he's strapped. I can believe
the Ghost
that.
Rider money.
Yeah, who could forget?
But this comes out at the end of April 22nd. Who knows? Half these movies might get pushed back again.
Probably. We might be talking about these next year.
What's your next one?
It's Jordan Peele's new project. Nope. It said it was scheduled for July 20th. Who knows if it'll come out then?
That's my next one as well.
There's really not much info I could find on this.
Yeah, he's keeping it close. I think it's like Stephen Yeun. And then who else is in it?
Have to look.
Kiki Palmer, Daniel Kaluuya. Yeah, Stephen Yeun. And that's about it.
That's the only names I
that I would-
recognize.
And then a bunch of they have supporting cast. Yeah, there's no plot has been revealed yet.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed, Us, his most recent film. I thought it was really cool.
I think I saw it with Nicholas, and we did not like it when it first came out.
I watched
but
it.
we said we want to give it a second chance, but
I watched it
we
with
just haven't got
my
around to it yet.
my fiance Emma, and we both really enjoyed it. I think we watched Get Out and Us like back to back. We were just like bored one day, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a very interesting concept, and I thought, so I'm sure this is going to be pretty crazy. I'm sure there's going to be a nice commentary about America in there, and it should be fun. I'm sure my conservative parents will hate it, so it'll be a blast.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I don't know. I need to watch Us again, but I don't know. Maybe I was just expecting something totally different.
That's fair.
But my next movie on the horror train is Halloween Ends, which, first off, I love the original Halloween movie is one of probably the greatest horror film of all time, and you can fight me. It is the archetype of basically the modern horror film, and the sequels went off the rails in not a good way. And I guess it's 2018, the remake Halloween, which was okay. It was okay, serviceable. The second one, Halloween Kills, worst film I saw all year. The whole fun of having Michael Myers as your villain is the ambiguity of, is he a human, is he not? And they basically like confirm that he's like not human, and he survives all sorts of shit that like probably not even like a possessed person could survive, and he dies and gets resurrected and feeds off fear. It was just a train wreck of a film. But
sounds like it.
Will I watch the third one, the last one? Of course I will.
I'm sure.
Especially if it's on Peacock, because I have a Peacock subscription. But another one of these films where I'm not expecting too much to be returned to me in the goodness department.
I not a big horror movie fan, so this I might see it. I don't know. I'm sure I don't really need to watch the first two to even enjoy it, but I've never been a big horror movie fan. I'm just a little baby. I'm a little baby boy, so not my favorite genre, but
I mean, if you just want to watch people get killed, the first one is just like dumb teenagers getting gruesomely murdered.
Fun.
So if that's something that you're into, then you'll have a ball.
My next movie is the Mario movie starring Chris Pratt.
The Mario movie. Does it have a release date yet?
No, it's just slated for this year at some point, from what I've read. This movie's gonna fucking suck. Sorry, pardon my French. This movie's gonna be really bad, and it's gonna be a great ride to watch just how terrible this movie is.
It's funny. It's just on IMDb. It's Untitled Illumination Entertainment Project.
Yeah, I think on the list I looked at it was Untitled Mario Movie, which I think would be a great title for the movie. It's gonna be bad. Who's all in it? I know Chris Pratt and
Jack Black, Seth Rogen.
Oh my gosh.
Keegan Michael Key, Fred Armisen.
Isn't Keegan? He's Toad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie Day's Luigi. They have the
Anya
actual
Taylor-Joy.
They have the actual voice of Mario on the cast. They have Charles Martinet here. I don't know if he's gonna probably have some weird inside joke. There's some weird joke saying it's not the right voice.
Yeah, the internet was almost as mad about that as they were about Sonic.
I still never get over Idris Elba saying that he wasn't trying to make Knuckles' voice sexy. That's one of the best quotes of the year.
I didn't put Sonic on. I didn't see not even a remake, the Sonic movie. Wasn't a big Sonic player as a kid.
I wasn't too big of a Sonic player. I just thought that movie was gonna be bad, so I didn't watch it. Not even like fun bad. I thought it was just gonna be bad. But
so the rest of my films that I have on here are I guess slated for 2022, but do not have release dates yet.
As though the rest of mine.
Mine is Killers of the Flower Moon. First one, it's Martin Scorsese's film, post production, expected 2022. Basically, it is a bio drama about these Native Americans that find oil on their land and then are mysteriously murdered or killed because they wouldn't give it up to the American oil companies. So then, like, this is like one of the first cases that the FBI is like put on, and it's obviously we have the Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese partnership as always.
So this is just Beverly Hillbillies, but with Native Americans.
Never seen Beverly Hillbillies. Don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's a deep cut. That's a deep cut. Got it.
I know the
premise is basically that they
find oil, then
these hillbillies shoot at a coyote on their property, oil spews out, and then they move to Beverly Hills.
I've seen like the intro theme song where they like all get on like the wagon.
Yeah,
like that's the Grapes of Wrath.
That's a deep cut from if you're a child in the South with grandparents around the ages of 70. That's something that probably played at their house. At least at my grandparents' house. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to take over.
Yeah, but that's about it. It should be. I would assume that it would try to win an Oscar, so we probably won't see it till
end of the
quarter
year.
4.
Yeah.
I have the book sitting on the shelf, like right over there.
Nice.
Never read it. I bought it from my grandma, and then
hey, right behind me,
the book and the cover was ripped off, so they sent me a second one, so I kept the first one.
All of my books that I haven't read either. Actually, these are my fiance's books, but I'm gonna claim them. My books.
Hey, it's we.
It's our books.
You're a team now.
It's our books. It's our books that I haven't read. Oh look, Rosie's awake. Anyway, we're getting off the rails. My next film is a droid story. It's slated for this year, apparently.
Oh, the Star Wars one?
Yeah, it said it was on the list I looked at. May not be. I may be wrong. I may have gotten...
Let's look it up.
That's what I'm doing right now. A droid story release date. Likely arriving in... Maybe I'm wrong. Likely arriving in 2022?
Who knows? This is every single movie that we're talking about, probably except for Scream, has a question mark on it.
So it's tough to imagine we'd see a droid story before mid-2023. You know what? I am looking forward to this movie next year. Sorry. Moving on. I'll just go ahead and say my next one. It's Baby Shark, the movie. I don't want to watch this. What? It just sounded so funny when I saw this on the list. I had to put it on there.
Like the Baby Shark.
Baby. Yep. It's a pink fong. Baby Shark, the movie. 2022.
You know what? Good for them.
Yep. It's Oh, now apparently it's supposed to come out in 2024. What is this? I looked at the worst
2024?
list. I looked at the worst list. Baby Shark's big movie. I'm talking about it now. I don't care because this is crazy. Baby Shark's Big Movie is an American musical animated movie by Paramount Pictures and Nickelodeon Movies and Pink Fong Movies. The cast is great. It's Baby Shark, William Rock, Mommy Shark. I'm sure that's going to be played by Dwayne Johnson. Mommy Shark, Daddy Shark, Grandma Shark, Grandpa Shark. We have his debut. Brother Shark is debuting in this film.
What about Sister Shark? Yeah, Sister Shark?
Yep, Sister Shark is debuting as well as Axel, Lily, Pippi, and Hart. We have a lot of debuts.
That was what, a couple years ago? They're going to be about 6 years too late on that trend.
Yeah. Must have been a development nightmare for this film.
That's the entertainment industry in a nutshell.
Yeah, but this, who knows? Like I said, now it's saying it's going to come out in 2024, but I saw this on the list for this year, so I put it on my list without doing any other research, because that's how I do things. And it's going to be... I look forward to Sister Shark's debut. That's my final word on this film.
Where Sister Shark stands here.
100%.
Dress up, go to the theater.
I'm gonna dress up as the left shark from the Super Bowl, which is another deep cut.
This is a tangent. We're going off the
Go for
rails,
it.
but
Fuck, it's fine.
Katy Perry tried to copyright the
Left
term
shark.
left shark. Yeah. She failed. It was not granted.
Good.
Anyway, moving on. I have the Fablemans. It is all that we know about it is that it's a semi-autobiography based on Steven Spielberg's own childhood, and he is directing it. And if you listen to the podcast, you know my current feelings towards Steven Spielberg is
it's well documented.
that of anger and disgust, betrayal, loathing. But West Side Story should never be made. Why do we need to go back to that story?
We don't have to get there.
Let's move on. Go work on Indiana Jones 5, like you said you're gonna do. But this one, Michelle Williams, Seth Rogen, and Paul Dano. Who even knows what's gonna happen? It sounds interesting. It's expected November 23rd of this year. It's kind of crazy that he's gonna be having 2 films, probably back to back, that are gonna be nominated for Best Picture. But yeah, not much to talk about because we don't know much about it.
Fair. This next film on my list, there's a lore. I think it perpetuated originally from an iFunny meme. It's called Cocaine Bear. It's about a bear, I forget where, that got into, I think the story, I may be wrong, is there was like a drug smuggling plane flying over a forest, dropped a kilo of cocaine, bear got into it. I want to say it was in like Washington State. Bear gets into it and goes on a cocaine-fueled rampage before overdosing and dying.
And is this real?
This is a real film slated for some point this year.
But you said it was on a meme. Is this did this actually happen?
I think the story originated from like the story is real, but I think it gained popularity through iFunny, like the story did, or like Twitter. I don't remember exactly where, but this is a real story. It's a real film, and it stars. The names I recognize are Ray Liotta, Kerry Russell, and O'Shea Jackson Jr., as well as Isaiah Whitlock Jr. as one of the only named characters so far. He's Bob. Oh, no, and J.B. Moore is Vest. But yeah, this film is supposed to come out this year. It's about a bear that gets into cocaine. I'm sure it's going to be like a really campy horror film, and I'm sure it's going to be the likes of Sharknado. I am definitely seeing this film. I'm pumped for this. This looks like it's going to be insane.
Interesting. Our lists are diverging quite severely.
Yeah, I the list that I was looking at, there were some crazy films on there, so I was like, I have to know more about these.
Because my next film is called White Noise. Did you ever watch Marriage Story?
Bits and pieces. I couldn't relate because my parents are still together. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's directed by the same guy, Noah Baumbach, and written by him and Don DeLeo, who's the author of the book that it's adapting. And it's following a year in the life of Jack Gladney, a professor who has made his name by pioneering the field of Hitler studies. Wow. And Jack will be played by Adam Driver. And Greta Gerwig is making an appearance. So, if you're any Greta fans out there, have fun.
That sounds interesting.
That's all we know about it. It's slated. It's in post-production. Expected 2022. This seems like a Netflix movie to me. I don't know why.
I could see that.
Hey, nothing against Netflix movies. What's next for you?
My next film is expected this year, but it's not gotten a confirmation as to when it's going to come out. It's a Netflix movie about the British fictional music group Guerrillas. It's the Guerrillas Netflix movie. The reason I wanted to watch this film was there's a YouTube video that dives into the deep lore of the group. They have like their own lore. It's
Did you say fictional group?
Yeah, Guerrillas. It's I guess the members are fictional. It's created by a guy named Jamie Hewlett. He does pretty much all the instrumentation and singing, and has a lot of collaborators in each project and song.
Like
But
the actual group Guerrillas is only one person.
I think it's one or two people. I'm not 100% on the lore, like the actual real life lore. But yeah, it's a bunch of cartoon characters basically that are the group, but it's actually just one. I think one or two guys.
Interesting. I had no idea.
But there, yeah, I watched a YouTube video about the lore, and they have some pretty deep lore. So I'm interested to see what this film is going to be about. I like their music a good bit. No, I haven't listened to a ton of their music, but from what I've heard, I really enjoy it. So I'm sure the soundtrack for this film should be really good. And I don't have much to say about it. There's not much info on it other than like just talk about like an old cartoon show that they're deciding to switch over to the movie from. It's kind of weird, but it'll be interesting. I'll probably end up watching it. I may have to watch it when Emma's not here. I doubt she'll want to watch that with me, but
Hey, I watch all my stuff when Abigail's asleep.
pretty much same.
So you gotta find time.
Yeah.
My next one, again, vastly different from what you're talking about, is Disappointment Boulevard by Ari Aster. You're not a horror fan, but he's one of my new favorite directors. Hereditary and Midsummer, and a collection of short, disturbing films on YouTube you can watch. Starring Joaquin Phoenix, and it's a decade-spanning portrayal of one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time. And I'm
Interesting.
assuming that it's going to be a horror film, but he could be going a completely different direction. That's all we know. Can't wait.
Our lists are going to continue to diverge. The next one I have is the Kane Chronicles. It's a book series by Rick. I'm gonna butcher his name. I think it's Riordan. He was the creator of the Percy Jackson books. He also wrote I think the Kane Chronicles are based around Egyptian mythology, if I remember correctly. I actually haven't read them, but I'm in the process of finishing up the Percy Jackson, the Lost Hero series of books. I like the way he writes. I think he writes characters really, really like fairly realistic to young kids, which sounds weird now to say it out loud. Maybe it doesn't matter. But I like him a lot. I think he's a really good author. So I'm gonna support his film. It's a Netflix original film, apparently. It's supposed to come out sometime this year. I know nothing about the books, but it'll be a good way to get introduced to them. I'm sure they can't be worse than the Percy Jackson films. So,
Damn, shots fired.
there is no shot. That's the lowest hanging fruit. I think that's probably the coldest take we could possibly make on this podcast.
Those movies are ass.
Those movies are terrible.
Once again, I hate to keep saying it. We're diverging even further.
Understandable.
We got Poor Things by Yorgos Lanthimos. And I guess it was 2 or 3 years ago. The Favorite was my favorite film of 2019, I think it was. This is a Victorian tale of love, discovery, and scientific daring. The incredible story of Bella Baxter, a young woman brought back to life by an eccentric but brilliant scientist. And it stars Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe.
I'm sure Emma will love it. I'm sure we'll watch that because I'm sure Emma will love that movie. Just based on the time period and science.
If you haven't seen any of his other films, you should, because The Lobster's super fucked up and crazy. The Favorite's not really crazy, but really good.
Well, I have this ongoing thing where I watch films with Emma that I think are going to be good, and then I really enjoy them, but they're a little too artsy and a little too kind of fucked up for her. I don't know if you've ever seen The House That Jack Built.
I have not.
It's about a serial killer that is kind of... It's like a fictional biopic of a serial killer, and he's like regaling his most favorite kills throughout the movie, and you're just like watching him as he progresses through life and kills like his family, kills random people and stuff, and it's very graphic, it's very gory. I didn't know that when I told her we should watch that, and we watched it together, and she hated it. The crux of the film, the big build up ends with him building a house of all the bodies he stored in a freezer, and it is one of the most, I want to say incredible, but Emma would probably say disgusting shots I've ever seen in a film. It was really almost tough to watch, but I thought it was a pretty good film. So I think I might just.
Is it on Hulu? What's it on?
I think it's on Hulu. I think it's. I'm pretty sure it's on Hulu.
Like, the film.
It's
like, title page.
It's interesting. It's definitely not something you watch and then go to bed if you're a little faint of heart. I mean, I think we watched it and literally went to bed, but it's it'll be fun.
You'll do exactly what I did and was fine.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much.
How many more do you have? Because I know I had a couple more than you.
I have 3 more, and they're all they're all pretty divergent. I
guess I have 4.
This movie is slated for 2022. It's not been confirmed, but it's expected sometime this year. It is Michael B. Jordan's produced Static Shock movie. There's not really anything about it.
You said we already went through superhero movies.
Look, man, this is at the bottom of my list. I missed it. I'm sorry.
It's our first episode, and you're already lying to the audience and me.
I'm setting a precedent that I can get away with stuff. I don't know if you watched Static Shock growing up.
Yes, I did.
That show was my jam. So if this film comes out this year, I'll watch it. If it comes out next year, I'll watch it then.
If it comes out next year, I don't think I'm gonna catch it.
No, if it comes out next year, I think I'll miss it. This is only for this year, and I've slated that it's gonna be for this year. So if it comes out next year, I anticipated it this year, I can't watch it. But yeah, the show was really, really cool, really incredible. I haven't read the comics. I really enjoyed the show. I am hopefully optimistic for this film, but it could just as well be not great. They could be really unfaithful to source material. Is
Michael B. Jordan going to be in it?
I'm really hoping not, because if he plays Static Shock, I'll be. I don't think so. I think he's just producing it, because if he's going to play Static Shock, I'm going to be a little upset. Because he's a little too old to play.
He's very too
what's
old
his name? Virgil?
Like a 14-year-old. I don't know much about Static Shock anymore.
I don't either. I think his kid's name's Virgil. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. But mine is my third to last one in the bronze place is The Son, which is by the same director, Florence Zeller, that made The Father. Not a sequel.
Interesting.
If for those who didn't see The Father, I thought it was a fantastic film about a maturing man. He was actually very old. It's Anthony Hopkins. Struggling with dementia and Alzheimer's. And the film is shot through his perspective. So it's a very chaotic film where the house morphs and the people that he's seen, like their faces morph. And you think that you almost think that like they're like people are playing tricks on him, but it's really just his mind. Very good film.
That sounds really impressive.
But this one is, I'm just gonna watch it because I liked Florence Zeller's first work. He's a playwright who's now stepped into filmmaking. So this is and The Father was based off one of his plays, titled The Father. This is another one titled The Son, of his plays, and he's directing and obviously the source material. And it's Peter, The Busy Life of Peter, new partner Emma, could be your fiance. And their baby is thrown into disarray when their ex-wife Kate turns up with their teenage son.
It should be interesting.
Perfect life flipped upside down. Classic story. Hopefully a new spin on the genre.
Let me make sure this is the right film that I'm looking at. My next film is the live action Uno film starring
the card game
starring Lil Yachty.
That's not real.
I swear to God, I have an article right here on the Wrap. A live action Uno movie in the works at Mattel Films. It's expected this year. Probably won't happen. It was on my list for this year that I looked at, but I doubt it comes out this year. This probably will go through developmental hell. Either that or it'll have like a tiny budget and just get pooped out. There's literally nothing about the plot for this film. Just a bunch of quotes from Lil Yachty and a spokesperson from Mattel. I have no idea what this is gonna be about. I it's gonna be interesting. I put it on my list solely because I wanted to see what in the world you could do with Uno, the card game, as a film.
That's insane. That's weirder than freaking the
Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear and Baby Shark.
Yeah, I had some gems on this list.
Are we that creatively bankrupt as a species that we are resorting to?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Board games to make films about?
They did Battleship 3 years ago. The answer is yes.
Battleship. We need Candyland.
Honestly,
I'm surprised we haven't got an R-rated Operation film.
That would be. What do you even do with that?
Just make it like Hostel.
That'd be kind of good though.
Just go watch Hostel then.
Yeah,
if you're into that
that's
kind
fair.
of stuff. So my next one is Knives Out 2.
I'm excited for that. Out? Yeah, me and Emma watched that. I liked it a lot. Emma and I, excuse me. I'm sorry.
We do proper grammar on this podcast.
I'm a geologist. I look at rocks. I don't talk right.
I'm not gonna list off the cast because it's an ensemble.
Okay.
Just go look at the cast if you want to know. Everyone's in it. Anyone that's anybody. Daniel Craig returns as his role. Nothing known about it. It's classic whodunit. I was not the biggest Rian Johnson fan after The Last Jedi came out. I wasn't that big of a fan of the movie. But Knives Out really redeemed him for me. And I'm excited to see if he can let lightning strike twice. Because it was a very refreshing take on the crime genre.
It'll be interesting to see.
I
really liked Knives Out, the first one. I thought the twist was really interesting. I'm trying to think.
I still haven't seen it. Everyone says you gotta watch it one of the ones. I haven't got around to it.
I've only watched it once, so. But I think the sequel could be good, could be bad. I'm just gonna really sit on the fence here.
It could be good or bad.
Could be good or bad. Could not be mid though.
Couldn't be mid.
Couldn't be mid.
What's your next one?
My last film is another one of those. Could come out this year, could not. I only just found out about it, and I threw it on here. It's the Ghost of Tsushima film. It doesn't have a. I swear to God, there is a Ghost of Tsushima movie. The release date hasn't been set. It's only now getting traction. It's probably not going to come out this year, but the list I found said it might. I doubt it will. But yeah, there is a I think a teaser trailer. No, not even. There's not even teaser. There's just talks about it, but I think it's been confirmed, and that's it. So I look forward to it. It may not even. Who knows? It was on the list. I took this list word way too seriously because half of these movies that I'm finding out now after looking up a little bit of info are not 100% confirmed. So we'll see.
I don't think you could be a journalist, Chase.
No, actually, yeah, I definitely could. I don't have to. You don't fact check nowadays. That's my right. Conservative father.
So my last two are, like you said, rumored for 2022. This one is The Whale by Darren Aronofsky, and it is the return of Brendan Fraser to the big screen. And
no way.
A reclusive English teacher suffering from severe obesity attempts to reconnect with his estranged daughter for one last chance at redemption.
Sounds interesting. I definitely could see Brendan Fraser in that. He's definitely kind of ballooned up. No offense to Brendan. We look body positivity here, but you definitely don't look the same as you did in Encino Man, and that's fine.
It is pouring now. Not that it matters to our listeners.
I wasn't even picking it up.
Yeah, but Darren Aronofsky's done his most recent film was Mother in 2017. Um,
The horror film?
Black Swan, The Wrestler, Requiem for a Dream.
If I
So
remember
it should
correctly,
be
Mother was pretty good.
yeah.
I remember enjoying it
So
forever
it's
ago.
probably gonna be really sad or really messed up.
That'll be fun. I'm excited to see
Um,
Brendan Fraser come back. I'm excited to see if he's still got it.
he's been in. I guess I think he's gonna be in Killers of the Flower Moon too.
Okay.
So, but he's already been in stuff, but I don't think he's been like the lead.
All I'll say,
Um,
he hasn't been anything important enough for me to notice. So
you're not a big what you call it, Doom Patrol fan, DC Doom Patrol on
no.
HBO. Um, but my last film, I would be shocked if this came out this year. It is David Fincher's The Killer. And it's about an assassin who begins to psychologically crack as he develops a conscience, even as his clients continue to demand his skill.
That sounds really interesting.
And it's got Tilda Swinton and Michael Fassbender
So it's just Barry
attached.
without the
That's what I
acting.
was about to say. It's pretty much Barry. Great show. That's our
Show is
plug
really
for the
good.
day. Is Barry. Season 3 is
Watch
coming
Barry.
out this year.
Ooh.
Oh, for our superhero fans, I got some bad news reported by IGN a couple of days ago that there has not been any production on Invincible season 2 yet. And if you're a fan of The Boys, did you ever watch The Boys?
No, I haven't yet. I still plan to watch it. I just haven't gotten
Season
around to
3
it.
comes out in June, which is kind of upsetting because that's a long way away. But
It'll
at
be
least
here
we're
before
getting
you know it.
something.
It'll be here
Yeah.
before you know
Especially
it.
now that I'm not in school.
Trust me, time flies now.
Um, but that's it.
Yeah, I've got
Um,
nothing else.
and it looks like I'm finding out now that they're remaking the Wild Bunch. Like, why do we need to do that? Is there any reason why we need to remake the Wild Bunch?
I don't even know what the Wild Bunch is, so
It's a 1969 Western.
my grandpa will be excited. That's about all I can say about it.
I don't know. But yeah, we'll come at you next week with probably just a one movie episode.
I'm sure.
Just go into one movie. You know what, Chase? You got a movie you want to talk about next week? We'll let you pick the first one.
Oh, this is a lot of pressure. I wasn't prepared for this. You just watched Howl's Moving Castle, didn't you?
No, I am about 50 minutes into Graves of the Firefly before I had to turn it off last night because I was getting too sad.
That's fair. Let's just do Howl's. I'll rewatch it. I think Howl's Moving Castle is really good.
Is this turning into the Studio Ghibli anime podcast?
No,
All right,
maybe.
I'll watch that before next week.
Bet.
Come back to you about it.
Sounds good to me. You wanna sign us off?
But last thing I want to talk about before we go is I watched Licorice Pizza last night.
Licorice Pizza?
Yeah, I don't know if
Heard
you've
of
been
it.
online, and there's been some hot takes. Basically, have you seen There Will Be Blood? Paul Thomas Anderson, The Master,
Mm-mm.
Boogie Nights, American Vice. Anyway, you should go watch those movies first off. If you're listening, go watch those movies. They're very, very good. But Paul Thomas Anderson's basically probably one of the greatest working filmmakers right now. And this movie's come under a lot of heat because it follows a 15-year-old and a 25-year-old that are like, it's like a will they won't they type thing, and people are saying that it's like pedophilic. But I think that's a very derivative way to look at the film, because nowhere in the film are we to believe that the 25-year-old girl, is a good person. She's kind of a piece of shit. But I would recommend it. Just even if you don't like it, go watch it for yourself, and don't just listen to these people's online opinions on it, because usually the people that hate the movie are the loudest. So, while I might not condone the film, and obviously I don't condone that kind of behavior, but go watch the movie for yourself because it's a pretty good film, even if the people in it are shitheads.
If
Yeah,
we
it's
can
it's basically like a love letter to the 70s.
look
I
at
really enjoyed the
if
film aspect of it.
if we can leave this episode with any advice or mantra, I think it's make your own opinion about films. Or if you don't
Yeah.
want to do that, just listen to critics and have no.
No, don't listen to critics because that's what I want to do for a career. Just go form your own opinion. Don't go look at Rotten Tomatoes. 90% of people don't even know what Rotten Tomatoes is. Rotten Tomatoes is not. If it gets a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, that's not. Oh, that's 98% of 100. Like good on the goodness scale. That just means 98% of the reviews are 70 or up.
I didn't even know that.
Rotten Tomatoes looks at the average score that a reviewer gives it, and if it's above a certain threshold, it is considered fresh.
That's kind of whack.
It's like a 50% Rotten Tomatoes means that only 50% of the reviews are positive. It's
Yeah,
like a range.
wow. That's
Don't look on IMDb either because people just review bomb movies that they don't like.
You heard it here first, folks. Hot take of the week. It's, form your own opinion.
If you want an opinion, come to the Closed Screening podcast.
Damn straight.
We will give it to you.
We'll give you the best opinion. We'll give you the only opinion that matters. Cocaine Bear for Best Picture 2022. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
we'll see you next time.
See you next week.
With Howl's Moving Castle.
With Howl's Moving Castle. Like, look forward to it. Peace out.